Truck Talk Media.
C10 Talk, episode 244. C10 SLO Down. The weather, the venue, the trucks, and of course, the people. They had it all. C10 SLO Down 2022. Here we go.
But the truck, we built it to drive. We drove it over here from Bakersfield, and we drive it to every show we go to. The truck's never been on a trailer since it's had the motor in it. It's a driver, and we spend the time detailing it out on both ends of the show and make sure that she's shined up and looking good. But I built it to drive. I enjoy driving it.
Damn, son. Seeing is believing. And our title sponsor, United Pacific, makes seeing a whole lot easier. The crispness of the United Pacific LED headlights, taillights, marker lights, and more makes seeing and showing your truck that much better. It's time to upgrade your old dim halogens for new LED headlights, taillights, and more. They offer the brightest and latest LED technology. Headlights are available up to 1,600 lumens, easy to install, and it fits right in the OEM housing. How about upgrading to sequential taillights? They're DOT approved and ready to ship today. DOT approved. And for you 73 to 80 GMC and Chevy square body guys, they've got the new front parking lights, LED with stainless steel bezel. Think UP Car Parts. That's upcarparts.com.
Let me tell you what Melba Toast is packing right here. I've got 411 posi track out back, 750 double pumper, Edelbrock intakes, scored over 30, 11-1 pop-up pistons, turbojet, 390 horsepower. We're talking some bucking muscle.
What does that do? Does that blow your mind? That just happened.
Welcome to C10 Talk, your C10 truck podcast.
And now I have a chance to be the best, maybe the best in the world.
My old man is a television repairman. Ultimate set of tools. I can fix it.
I said I got 50 cents in that jukebox, and all I can hear is your mouth flapping. You hear that?
Here's your host, Ronnie Wedge.
What's up, my brothers and my sisters, coming at ya. Another C10 Talk, kicking it off with a little SLO Down coverage. So I went out on Thursday. I flew to Sacramento. I had picked up a Blazer, a 79 K5. Of course, I'm on Facebook Marketplace or something like that. See it, probably don't really need it, kind of dig it. So I'm like, all right, well, hell, if I'm going to go up to Sac, I might as well make a little trip out of it. So that's exactly what I did. Flew into Sac and then picked up the Blazer, drove down to Atwater where Renee C10 King is, and then from there we worked our way down to Fresno and met up with some of the Central Valley guys and then cruised over to San Luis Obispo. So ton of fun road tripping, a little hot on the other side of the mountains. So working from Sacramento down to Atwater, Atwater to Fresno, and then Fresno over. Once we came over the hill, bam, and just dropped down into the SLO. What a difference. I mean, I felt like it was like 105 to 75. It was crazy how fast it changed. Big shout out to a few people. First and foremost, Shorty Speed Shop, which is Greg Lewis over there. He's north of Sac. I reached out to him. I said, hey, can you make sure this thing's road ready? And he did. So I do appreciate that. Obviously, a big shout out to Renee and Renata, his wife, out in Atwater. I always wanted to go to the C10 Ranch. Anytime you can hang out with Renee and Renata, they're down for the C10 Club. They're down for C10 trucks. They love it. It's their passion. So that was fun to finally experience that. So I do appreciate that, Renee and Renata. All right, so then we get ready. We leave out on Friday. We go to Fresno, and we're going to roll over to SLO. Great group of people. We had a huge group. I mean, it felt like it was like 30 people. Everybody stayed together, and I think for the most part, there really wasn't any incidences. For me, the Blazer, it has headers on it. So the starter solenoid would get real hot. It would not want to start after I shut it off. So I learned that right away. Second day when I was driving on Friday, I just didn't even shut it off. I mean, literally, I'm getting fuel. I'm in, I'm out, keep on trucking. Let's go. I'm not shutting this thing off. Let's roll. Here we go. Moving and shaking. So, and of course, once I got to the hotel at the Madonna Inn, I shut it off and it didn't start. So I left it there for a while and that was fine. Come over the hill. Amazing weather, amazing venue, huge pasture. So it's like a huge pasture. I'm sure it's probably like 30 acres right off the 101, kind of in a little draw right off of the beach. So you've got these mountains and this breeze comes through. And then the hotel itself, you've probably heard about the Madonna Inn. I did stay there one night on Friday night. It's very expensive. It's kind of like a Disneyland style hotel. I mean, each room's got its own theme, and it is cool, and the restaurant's cool. It's old school. It's like 50s, something for the ladies, I think. I think the girls will appreciate the hotel, the inn, the rooms, the restaurant, and everything a little bit more, but the venue is awesome, and I think in the future, now that I've been there, I might just get a hotel downtown, but we'll see. We'll see. If I take my wife, then I probably want to stay there. It's kind of cool that way. So, all right, so the SLO Down, they killed it. I think they were talking about 750, 800 trucks, huge pasture. The weather was great. They were packing them in early, and the way they had it set up, a lot of vendors, food. They had a VIP booth. So it was a good show. It's going to be a destination show for sure because the weather's so great. The area is great, and you get to hang with everybody. There's people from Arizona, NorCal, Oregon, SoCal. So a lot of people kind of converged and made for a lot of variety, a lot of rad trucks, and of course, getting to meet new people and then hanging out with some of the old homies as well. So Friday night, everybody kind of got into town. Everybody's spread out at different hotels. There was a little pre-party at the Marriott Inn, and then downtown SLO, people were spread out eating different locations, whatever. It's a totally cool little town, tons of options for food. And then, like I said, a little parking lot party over at the Marriott. Everybody kind of getting together, a little pre-show fun. So that was fun on Friday night. Then Saturday, after they had a concert, I did not go. So I'm not sure how that went. I'm going to assume that it went great. If I hear anything different, I'll let you know. What we ended up doing was, because I left on Thursday and had a long drive home, so at 5 o'clock, we hit the road, headed south on the 101, got into a little bit of traffic, Saturday, California traffic, but by the time we stopped, fueled up, ate, we got home into Phoenix around 4 in the morning. The best thing was I didn't have to drive the Blazer all the way home. Windows down, no AC, exhaust freaking running, so I was spoiled on that. Thanks, Sam, for doing that, bringing your big truck and trailer out. That made things easy. Juan from Soul Prince, myself, and then Sam cruising back was fun. It's always fun, right? Jamming out to old school tunes, talking about the weekend, talking about the show, talking about life, really. Sometimes those road trips, the show's fun, and even getting, to and from is a part of that. And that's what's so fun about these destination road trip type shows that we do. So, hey, if you haven't had a chance, jump back and check out 243 with Austin. Crazy Canadians took a 80 square body out, 6-0, raced a Lambo, beat a Lambo, some hoonigan fun, some hoonigan love. It was a good time getting to chat it up with Austin, so check that one out if you haven't already. One last story real quick. We're all hanging out. We're in one of the food tents and just chilling, and all of a sudden I look over, and there's this young kid. Turns out he's 8. Comes walking over to our table, kind of got a little swagger. He's like, "You Ronnie, are you the podcast guy?" And I'm like, yes I am. And he's like, "My name's Cole, and me and my dad, we listen to your podcast all the time. We like your podcast. I like C10 Talk. You do a good job." And I'm like, "All right, Cole." I'm like, "Man, I like your style, kid." And it was cool. That's one of those moments where we all can make an impression on, these next generation. So it was really cool. We grabbed a couple of the guys. We went and checked out his parents' truck, his dad's truck that he built, Rad 62. They're going to be on here, both Cole and his dad, Steve, interviewed them. But, that's what it's all about. This young kid, he's listening to the podcast when he's hanging out with his dad, I'm assuming in the shop, maybe on road trips. And he just got the bravado that, come up and just be like, "Hey, I like what you're doing, So we go over, check out the truck, Rad 62. Obviously a rad family, mom and dad. They got young Cole there. So it was just a cool experience. And I think that, his dad and his mom are like, "Oh, man, you took the time to come over here. You made his day. You made our day." But really, they made our day. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where I'm never going to forget hanging out with Cole and his dad. I'm never going to forget Cole telling me about his truck and working in the shop and listening to the podcast, people might think, oh, you're taking time to talk to us, but they're making our day too. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about, the community, right? The trucks are cool, but the people are cooler. And I even had some guys tell me that, oh, I use that all the time. And we're just blessed, and it's a cool thing. And we've got the next generation and the next generation, right? Young Cole's going to build a truck, and I can't wait to kind of follow his path. He was so excited. He's like, I want to get Instagram. So we kind of talked to his mom. We're like, let him do it. Come on, let him do it. He already has TikTok. Let him get on Instagram. So you'll hear his Instagram. I think he did talk about it. Cole Ryder, 22, young kid, and look forward to seeing his journey. So Cole, thanks for taking your time to hang out with us and talk trucks and talk about, just being a young kid from Oregon and what you love about your truck and hanging out with your dad. So awesome stuff. That's it, guys. Thanks again, Paul, John, Carlos, Shorty, all the people, all the staff. Everybody had something to do with the slowdown. You guys did an awesome job. Rad show. Look forward to hitting it up again next year. For you guys out there, C10 Nation, add it to your list, the slowdown. You will not be disappointed. All right, guys, have a great week. Thanks for listening. Enjoy the pod. Kicking it off Saturday at the slowdown. I came across, I don't know if it's candy apple, but it's definitely shining in the sun today. I've got Jeremiah. And I love your truck, Jeremiah. Welcome to C10 Talk. Thanks for taking time to share your story. What's the story? How long have you had this truck? The paint, the motor, everything.
I bought the truck in 94, 95. The truck got hit by a drunk driver maybe 2.5 years ago, so I got it painted. The paint's been on it for, I don't know, maybe 6 months now. So the engine I built 14 years ago. It sat underneath the bench, and I decided I'd put it in with the new paint job. So yeah, it's basically a new build now.
Okay, so rewind a little bit or back it up here. A little beep, beep, beep. 94, you've had this truck?
Yeah, I bought it in 94 from a farm labor camp for $500. Yeah, that was before these trucks were even desirable, It was, nobody would ride with me in it, nobody wanted to get in it. It was pretty ugly, beat up looking truck.
So what, it was a shorty, and you bought it from out here in Fresno, I assume. And then what color was it originally and throughout its life? I mean, we're looking at 30 years now coming up on it. Been a few different colors. You've been, your life has changed. So the truck's been with you for a long time.
Yeah. So it started off like a classic teal color and lots of body damage. Then I straightened it out a little bit, primered it. It was a street truck. Used to go out midnight racing in it, and then shot it silver. It was silver for a few years. Then it went to a candy red. Now this is a custom pearl red that the painter mixed up.
So is this something you just tinker with, or since an early age, I got to think 94, you're like just out of high school or in high school still. Yeah. You buy this truck. Is this something that you become, somebody who can do paint and body, can do mechanical work, or do you farm it out? I mean, I see the built not bought on there.
Yeah, no, I don't sand or do any body straightening, but everything else I did. All the chassis, the motor, everything minus paint and interior was done in my garage. Me and this kid right here.
What's this kid's name?
This is Archer.
Archer, what do you think about this truck?
It's a pretty good truck.
A lot of work for you out on the weekends with Dad?
Not so much anymore.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's your favorite part about the truck?
I really like the paint and the motor. That's like the best.
Do you think that, I'm not sure how many siblings there are, Archer. That's a cool name, by the way. Do you think this is going to gravitate its way to you? You're going to be driving here in a few years, and you could rip this thing down the strip pretty good. It'd be kind of nice.
Hopefully.
That's the plan?
Yeah, that's the plan for me.
All right, that's cool. Okay, so small block 350 backed with the turbo 350, and you got a lot of components on it. So once you had the accident, had you already acquired a lot of the parts, or because you thought, hey, someday I'm going to really go through this truck, and that just kind of pushed you forward?
Yeah, the engine was built to go in a 91 Camaro that was going to be a drag car. It's a Gen 1 small block with a girdled bottom end with splayed caps, 6-inch rods, RHS 220cc heads with Yellow Terra shaft rockers. I think they're 1.7s. It's got a lot of duration. It's got a big lift cam, and then I'm running the Terminator Stealth fuel injection and a dual sync ignition on it. That's basically the gist on it. It did 620 on the crank, and I think it did like just right over 400 on the wheels.
So it'll go. Archer, you're not getting this as soon as you thought you were. All right, Jeremiah, come over here. So you've got intro wheels, looks like 20. I'm standing back here. Looks like some 20 with some Willwood brakes. The interior is phenomenal. The cowl's been shaved. I got some billet mirrors, billet door handles. Probably, I'm not sure if it's an intro wheel, but really everything's done tastefully. What interior did you go with?
This is cream, all leather interior. A guy out of Fresno did it all for me, really low-key guy. I want to give a shout out to Mike's Billet Mirrors. He made those mirrors for me. He's a wounded warrior. You can look him up. He's a great guy. He'll make whatever you want. The handles are GSI. Yeah, and then I had Shad's Electrical. He did all my wiring and everything, and that's just a Summit steering wheel, just a cheap Summit steering wheel in there.
So you filled in essentially the top vent and the stereo. You moved everything down. You've got a little console, a little bit of fab work there, some nice inner door handles, both window crank and door opener. So kind of got a little bit of that, that 90s vibe going on it. Like when you think about the paint and some of the billet, you're kind of bringing it back with this thing.
Yeah, I want it to be timeless, something that'll stand out forever. I don't want to do it again. So it's done. No more work.
How about the bed? I love what you did with the bed. It looks like an oak with some nice billet strips. It does look a little raised, so I'm assuming you must have, is it like a 4.6 or a 5.7? Your drop.
My drop. Oh yeah, I think it's a 5.8 drop, and it's on air. I did a 10-inch raised bed. I got all my wood and strips from Bedwood. They gave me a great deal on all of that. I ordered all that when they first came with those rails. I got Summit actuators in the bed, so I can lift the bed up and get to my air ride. I got a Boyd tank underneath there, and yeah, it's over the top.
What air management?
Airlift.
Airlift, okay, airlift. All right, so you got one-piece window as well, and really, all in all, just a really, like you said, a timeless truck. What was the hardest part?
Just shelling out the money, man. That's the hardest part, right?
Getting approval for. You think about it. Back when you were a kid, I think you said you had a paper route, and you used some of your paper route money to buy this in '94, and it's been with you, like I said, damn near 30 years. And how much money and time you spent.
Yeah, I remember eating pork and bean burritos and Top Ramen so I could buy parts for this truck and build it. So, yeah, now there's a lot of the stuff you see here I added, but the other stuff, like the windows, came from Early Classic, if anybody knows what that is.
Yeah,
so
I was right in Fresno as well, right? They were one of my first 5 interviews, Early Classic Enterprises. Remember that catalog, man? I used to just drool over that catalog.
Yeah, I live right around the corner from their shop. Like, I could walk there.
I think the guy's name was Sam that ended up taking it over, but then Stan, you're right, Stan. All right. So do you have a name for this thing?
I don't know. I guess Sancha or the Money Pit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paperboy?
Paperboy, yeah. Yeah.
All right, Jeremiah, what's your IG?
1-stroke 388. All spelled out.
All right, 1-stroke 388, all spelled out, like 388 spelled out too?
No, that's numbered.
All right, so one more time.
1-stroke 388.
Okay, 1-stroke spelled out, and then 388. Check them out. We'll tag them. Archer, do you have an IG?
Yeah.
What is it?
Archer Allred.
Archer Allred, all spelled out as well. I'm assuming. I hope someday you get this truck, and you and Pops are hanging out, having a good time in it. Archer, thanks for your time. Jeremiah as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you, man. Have a great day.
Boom, boom, boom. This truck has had a ton of people around it. He's in the right spot. He's right up front. I've got Junior Guerrero. And Junior, tell us a little bit about your truck. Thanks for taking time to be on C10 Talk. This thing is rad. 7172 crew cab, shorty on the ground. Love it. How did this start, and where did you even have the inspiration or the thoughts to build yourself a crew cab?
It all started off as an idea. Just thought something different. My wife has a single cab, and I wanted something different for myself. I didn't want a 73 or newer that are already crew cabs. I wanted something different. I'm into the 67s and 72 body styles. So that's where the idea came from, to build this crew cab.
Well, I love your idea. I'm glad you did. But having an idea and actually doing are two different things. And the amount of time, the amount of money, and this isn't, you're not a fab guy. I mean, a fab shop, right? This is, you have a real job, and this is something you do on the side.
Correct. I'm a truck driver by choice. This is just something I do on the side. I don't have all the tools or stuff that I need to do it. I just, whatever I have laying around, that's what I use to figure how to do something.
Okay, so you have the idea, you have the thought, and then what happens? How you say, I got to go buy a Suburban, or I've got to have a truck, I've got to have a Suburban, I've got to have all these different things. Walk us through some of that.
Okay, I started off by buying an actual 71 Suburban, all stock, picked it up in San Diego, and that's where the idea started from. You know, just little by little, got the Suburban in the house, started working on it within the week, got the measurements to cut it down and all that, kind of figured out a pinpoint of where to start, and just went from there.
All right, so a lot of times when I've seen guys do them with Suburbans, they don't always do the driver rear fourth door. You did.
Yes, the whole reason for that was I have kids, so this is going to be a daily driver and just want to have the whole family in there enjoying it, you know, being able to drive wherever we want to go without having any issues.
How much work was it creating and making that fourth door?
You know, I haven't really added it up, but it's took quite a bit of days to do it, figure it out where the points to cut it off and all that, get the right measurements for it.
Now, is this something you're doing at a two-car garage? You got a little shop in the backyard? I mean, there's a lot going on, and I can only imagine what a blown-apart Suburban morphed with the truck looks like parts everywhere.
You know, I started off in my backyard. I have a small one-car garage. Started there, then moved it to my trucking yard at the shop there, and that's where it became into a crew cab. You know, just it was too many parts for my backyard to have laying around. My wife, she started complaining about it, so I ended up having to move, and that's where it got put together.
Okay, you went with a yellow and white two-tone, not ochre, but more of a kind of a, I don't even know if it could be considered canary yellow. It's a brighter yellow. Why yellow?
You know, my kids, they love Transformers, Bumblebee. They're the ones that picked the color out. So did my wife. It's actually GM Chevy Camaro yellow. And that's where the color came from. The two-tone is as well. I mean, it's a great color combo on it. So my wife got to pick the colors, and it just came out outstanding.
How about the molding? You did a really good job. Did you have to do some custom work to get that molding?
You know, all the moldings for the bed, for the front doors and all that, it's all original, mainly the fourth door. That's where I had to come and cut and custom make the moldings for it, because nobody out there sells them for the crew cabs.
Yeah, it's rad. I know some guys have had struggles with the window, right? Because the window and the placement, you took the Suburban. You obviously did it right as well, because sometimes I'll see it where, for the audience, if you can think about a 67 to 72 Suburban, the back door has a square kind of in the C post. Well, you took the truck cab and you put it on the back, so it's rounded and the door's rounded, and it really came together. Was that a lot of work?
It took a couple of days to fab that up. It's just some extra parts I had laying around. I didn't really like the square look to it. It just kind of looked plain, so I wanted to go with the rounder look, see how it looked, and I put it together and just came out great looking. So
it does. It looks great. There's people around. You're running US mags, 24s, front and rear. It's completely laid out. He's got level right air management. You got a 6.0 on there?
Correct, 6.0 with the 4L80 in it. Just a small Texas Stage 3 cam, headers, and that's about it. Just something stock, but with some power in it to move it. Obviously, it's a big truck, so it needs a little bit of power to it.
What gear ratio are you running in the rear end?
You know, the rear end, it's a Ford 9-inch rear end. I forgot what the ratio is on it, but I took it out of a 75 Lincoln Continental.
Cool. What's left?
Pretty much just the hood, minor things here and there, just little nuts and bolts, headlights and stuff like that. Some exhaust, but other than that, just pretty much that's about it.
You gonna have a system in there?
No system. I got kids, so they don't like the loud noise.
Okay, kids like it. They like the bump.
Yeah, no, not my kids. They're a little sensitive around the ears, but we're going to put Flow Masters in it, like more of the engine sound to it. Trying to stick to that older style sound where beefed up motors and all that.
So. Yeah, a little Flowmaster Series 40 flowing down. Sometimes you don't need tunes. You just let the motor do all the work, and you get to hear it when you cruise. Do you have a name for this? The kids name it?
Not yet. We're still working on that. So hopefully here pretty soon they come up with something.
What's been your favorite part of this journey, and how long has this been going on? How long did you start it?
You know, from the time that I bought the truck to now, it's probably taken me a year to build it to the point where it's at now, almost pretty much 90% done.
That's amazing.
So just, you know, weekends, days off, whatnot, working on it here and there, just trying to get it done.
And what's been your favorite part of it?
Getting it to the point where it's at now, custom color combo and all that. I just want to see the outcome of it.
Did you paint it, or did you have somebody else work with a painter?
No, I actually did everything myself, painted it. I did everything except the interior. I had the interior done on it. But other than that, everything else, did body, paint, and all that. Like I said, it's not perfect, but I don't need perfect. I just want to be able to enjoy it, drive it around, and have fun with the family.
Dude, I love it, Junior. I mean, you had an idea, and you made it happen. I can't imagine the sacrifice from time and money and everything you've done to put into this truck. But I think you're probably getting a really good feeling today, because is this the first time it's been out?
You know, this is actually the second show I come out to. Now it's more complete than the first time.
Yeah, and people just around it nonstop, loving it. So that's got to feel really good. Next year we'll be at a show over here in Cali, and you'll be running and driving this thing, and it'll probably all be done.
Hopefully another month and it'll be done. To the next show we go.
Okay, keep doing what you're doing. What's your Instagram?
I don't have an Instagram, just Facebook.
Okay, what's your Facebook?
It's JR Patron. That's it.
JR Patron. All right, we'll tag that, and then obviously I'll do some posts on Instagram, get this thing out. 7172 crew cab, shorty, slammed on the ground, yellow and white. He did say he custom did the chassis himself, fabricated it up. Junior, thanks for your time, bro.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate the time too. Thank you very much.
Late. So you bought a C10, and it either had AC at one time or it wasn't even an option. Well, Vintage Air has the solution for you. Their SureFit kits are designed to place the evaporator and hoses behind the dash for a factory clean look. In most cases, the SureFit systems will be controlled by your stock dash controls using their exclusive cable converters. The Gen 4 kit provides infinite, just right temperature, air blending, and blower fan speed adjustments. The Vintage Air SureFit kits are the best value and the most completely engineered air conditioning system you can install in your C10. Add the fact that Vintage Air has been the most respected name in performance aftermarket climate control systems for 40 years. 40 years? Damn, son. The choice is obvious. VintageAir.com. Hey guys, I've got Joe Road, Classic Performance Products, CPP back. Joe, let's talk X10 spindles. Go.
Yeah, you know, CPP's one of our most popular parts through the years has been our 2.5-inch drop modular spindles. Really popular part. Well, we've kind of taken that to the next step. You know, we've emulated late model Corvette, Silverado, Chevy technology into our new X10 drop spindles. They use a steel hub, sealed bearing hub, really strong piece.
As you know, Joe, so many guys are building bigger trucks, bigger wheels, bigger brakes, everything bigger and better. Is this X10 something they should be considering?
Oh, absolutely. It's oversized bearings. Definitely great for a guy using big brakes, big wheels, which I'm sure all your guys are.
All right, guys, there you go. If you're looking to upgrade, you need a new spindle anyways, you're going to lower your truck, you're running a bigger wheel, a bigger brake. CPP's got it for you with their new X10 spindle. Joe, as always, thank you. CPP, ClassicPerform.com. It's ClassicPerform.com. Hey guys, how about a happy 10-year anniversary to the team at Pro Performance? For 10 years, Travis and his team have provided their customers the best products on the market for our trucks. They sell Dakota Digital, Bear Brakes, Boyd Welding, QA1, Vintage Air, and more. They're your one-stop shop for all your truck part needs, stocking fast-moving items to help with production delays. So think Pro Performance when you are creating that parts list for your build. azproperformance.com. That's azproperformance.com. All right, I'm back, and you're probably going to recognize his voice because we just interviewed Junior with his crew cab. But what's super cool is his wife has a 7172 two-tone pink and white. What were you thinking on this one, Junior?
This one originally was a parts truck, and then one day out of the blue, my wife said, hey, can you build me a truck? And that's where the idea came from.
And then the pink and the white?
She chose the colors for herself. Her mom, rest in peace, died of cancer. So she wanted a tribute to her mom. So that's where the idea came from as well.
People just must love this. I mean, obviously, I haven't seen a girl not stop and take a picture by it. So it's super cool because obviously the girls love the pink. The moms love the pink. Hell, I mean, I love the pink. You don't see this that often. It's super cool. How long was this build?
This one took about 6 months to build as well. Just had a bunch of parts laying around and went from there.
Is this like a Cadillac color? Or, I mean, obviously I think pink Cadillac. Where did you find the color?
Honestly, you'd have to ask my wife about it. I think she had a color laying around or something. That's where it came from.
Wow. But you matched it up and then took it to the paint store and they said, okay, we can get this pink?
Oh, yeah. Took the color down there and they were able to match it 100%.
What's her mom's name? Or was her mom's name?
Martha Yala Barajas.
Okay, it's Martha Pink, as far as I know. That's what we're calling it. We're calling it Martha Pink. On 22s?
Yes. 22s US mags, 8.5s in the front, 11s in the rear.
You just don't see it. So I'm going to let him go because he just spent like 10 minutes with me talking about the crew. But right next to him has got the pink and white 71, 72. Love it. Does she just love driving this thing or what?
I'm still test driving it for her, making sure the brakes work and all that, making sure the AC as well works. So she's waiting to drive.
She's excited about it.
Yes. So
it's going to be pretty cool when you two are ripping down the strip and you've got the yellow and white crew and then you've got Martha Pink rolling here. That's going to be pretty bitchin'.
Oh, yeah, correct. Our kids are going to be fighting about who they want to go with. Well, it'll be a good show.
Okay, cool, man. Thanks again. I love it. I love what you do. Obviously, your passion for these trucks and then bringing it to the family. The kids will grow up loving these trucks. Thanks for what you do, bro.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right. 1967 was a long bed. He shortened it up. He's got a small back window, obviously. We got Alex from C10 Junkies. Now, you're a group of C10 Junkies. Do you have another IG that's just your IG?
Yeah, bow tie lover.
Okay, bow tie lover. We got something in common there. All right, so tell us about this 67 because I tell you what, white with tons of patina.
Tons of patina. Bought it up in Jackson, California, and just been doing a little bit of work here and there. It's got a 5.3 LS in it with the 4L60. Brand new wood bed in it and everything, and just a beauty to drive. Drove it down to Dino's and everything. Saw you guys down there, and it's awesome, bro.
What drop?
It's bagged. It had the 5.7, now it's got bagged on it.
So what'd you do to bag it though?
It's got the easy air ride. Yep.
Okay, so did you do anything with the cross member and the control arms and the spindles, or how did you get it this low? Because it's obviously sitting. It's not sitting nasty, but it's sitting just right. Like
yeah.
it's got a little taste there.
Yeah, we just did, the drop spindles on it and everything, and my buddy did all the work on it. My buddy Fernando out of Turlock, California, and
So it's C-notched in the back.
C-notched in the back.
All right, and then you've got air management, and you're running like some Firestone bags or something.
Yep.
He maybe cupped the front end, maybe he cupped the front control arms.
Yep.
Okay. The thing I like about it is that it's less is more. You left what Mother Nature gave you, right?
Yes.
You're like, and this. We see these trucks that are $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, right?
Yeah.
You found a long bed, you cut it down, you put some transits on it, you put the right hubcaps on it, and you made a runner. And it's one of those trucks that you can drive for 20 more years, and your buddies can lean up on it. You can throw some shit in the back, and you can enjoy it. And it's that's what it's all about.
Yep. Yeah, it is. It's fun. And people stare at me when I'm going down the highway and going about 90 miles an hour, and they're like, "What the heck?" It's pretty cool.
What's your favorite part of the truck?
My favorite part is the patina. It's just it's all original patina. The snow, everything just got on it, and he let it sit out there when I bought it from the gentleman. So it's just awesome. Gives it character.
How long have you had it?
I've had it for about 4 years now.
Okay.
Yep.
What's your favorite part of the journey, of the build? Like, did you know when you bought it you were going to shorten it? Did you know you were going to run transit? What was something that you're like, I didn't know if I was going to do this, if I was going to LS it, and then you're like, I'm really glad I did, or maybe I'm really glad I didn't. I don't know.
I didn't know about the bags. I was kind of a little skeptical about it because, you get different stories from other people. I kept the 5.7 drop on it, and then finally this last year I said, you know what, we got to give it some adjustments. So with that, I would say that's the biggest part. Yeah.
It's funny for the audience, if you're running transits or a flat smoothie style wheel, you have to take it low. It just looks so good low. Yeah. And if it's a little high, it just doesn't look right. So you did the right thing. What's next?
Air, AC in it. Being here in the valley, back home it's 105 right now. We're right here up here by the coast, and It's 75.
So I'll walk over here. We're in the front of the truck. Walk over. So it is not an air truck. So you're going to add, you're going to cut the dash. You're going to go underneath. What do you think you'll do?
I'm going to probably cut the dash and do it like the original holes there and everything, the vintage air.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. That's a 3.5-inch saw and a hole saw. Stick it in there and let it rip. I love the blue interior, original steering wheel, all the door panels, everything's there. It looks so good. And then you've got a floor shifter with what do you got? 4L60?
4L60. Yep.
Right, cruise is so nice.
Oh yeah, with that overdrive, I'm chilling.
Well, and the bed, you did some pine and heated it up. I like the bed strips there, patina. What do you think you had here? A little antenna?
No, I had the little things there to wrap. Toll hooks. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So it's on the side, he's got some circles on the bedside, front, middle, and rear, and it's the old hook style, round hook style. Looks like an antenna, but now that when you step back, you see that they're all there. Got the 3 stake pockets, so you know the lineage. It was a long bed. What do you call this thing?
Old patina.
Old patina.
Yep.
OP.
OL patina.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So C10 Junkies, you guys just formed. I think you
just
said
this last year,
little
yep.
group of guys up in Central Valley.
Yep. Good group of guys. We're all here right now. Some of them couldn't make it, but a lot of them are standing out right here. Just a good group of guys that get together, and we love C10s.
Yeah. Okay. Old bow ties or love bow ties. Is that your IG again?
Bow tie lover.
Bow tie lover. He's got the OP. Let's shoot some shots of it. We love it. Thanks for taking time to be on C10 Talk, brother.
Thanks, Ronnie. Awesome.
We've got a amazing, slope nose square. I'm going to say 84, 85, 86. This thing is hot to trot. It's laid out on intros. He's in a great spot because there's nobody next to him on the left, so everybody's been coming by, taking pictures. Love the truck, Bobby. Welcome to C10 Talk. Thanks for taking time to hang out and tell us about this thing. What's the story?
Absolutely. Nice to meet you, and thanks for taking the time to talk to me about this. So this is an 86 C10 Silverado, and it was recently built out of Texas, completed in May of this year. First show was at the C10 Nationals, took Best Square Body. And so the front end of it is a GSI kit in the front. Rear is drop shop. Drop shop did all the chassis work on it, and got 16-inch, oversized 16-inch custom built rotors, Willwood brakes, 6 pistons all around. It's got a LQ9 6.0 block, 4L80 transmission, Holley Terminator was that ECU management system.
Yep.
Everything was classic. The trim on it is still Silverado. The interior is still, it's original stitch but new built. So it's suede interior with leather, and it all matches. Everything on it is still classic looking, but with a modern custom twist to it. Obviously, it's also body dropped, and then air ride suspension on it, air ride technology on it. Was that slosh fabs?
Slosh tubs.
Yeah, slosh tubs on there. So, and then the handles are full solid billet. They look original, but
probably from either GSI or Delmo builds those. So probably GSI maybe.
No, actually, Scott came to my house to change out the bushings on the upper arms because the bushings went bad, and he looked at them. He's like, "Damn, they look like mine," but they're actually, they're made in Gilbert.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, hold on. The bottom line is you got Scott to come out to your house and change out your bushings. So you're the man, dude. If you got Scott Nelson from GSI to come do some, that's awesome. So yeah, GSI full chassis, drop shop, I think you said it was?
Drop shop did the custom work. Yeah, it was actually out of San Juan, Texas. Yeah, that the drop shop, that is the one that did all the modifications to it, yes.
And then on the back, intros, the lip, that's how you almost know that's a big Houston thing. That's a big thing down there. Huge lip, lip. Baby in the basket. Is that a 14? Is that a 15?
15, 24-15 wide king lip with a 2-inch backspace on it. Yeah, with 405s on there. So, yeah, part of that 405 club, You don't
a truck. This thing, I don't know what, the hood hinges, I don't even know what those are. There's really, you can't even see the hood hinge. The way that it's using a strut in combination with an actual hinge up top. Right. So well done. The dash, I love what you said too. So they used like a factory style stitch, but it's got like a buckskin suede leather. It is so... and then the dash is stitched up. This is a very, of course, that's why it would win Best Square Body at C10 Nationals. I got to think you're going to win something here today. Very well done. raised the bed floor all the way up. A lot of metal work.
Yep, factory bed floor on there, but they raised the tubs to match the height of the bed, so that it still looks factory. And even the lines from the railing on the bottom of the floor, the bed matches the stitching on it. That way the factory has it. So the stitching on the seat matches that too. So I mean, there's just a lot of detail to it if you really pay attention to what's going on. It still has a cargo light on it. Still has the rain drip system. So everything is still classic looking, but custom look.
Yeah, and you know, it's funny that you say that, because like the mirrors, like the cargo light, like the drip rails, all those things are they're part of like comfort food to us, because when you grow up looking at an 86, you wanted it when you were a kid. Yeah. We're about the same age, so these trucks were so hot back when we were in junior high and high school. And so that stuff, maybe a SEMA full custom, you might not do that, but that reinforces the comfort food of why this truck, you were drawn to this truck.
Absolutely.
And then you get in it and it's got the sound system. You kept what GM gave you, you upgraded it. It's all there. It's beautiful. The motor, the chassis, the wheels, the paint, everything about this thing is just, it's again, less is more, but it's hot.
Absolutely, yeah. No, when I saw this, like, I wish I could take the credit for the build on it, but I will take the credit for busting my ass and buying it. But the guy that built this, had this built for him, he really kept it GM base, but with a custom look, and people here are just stopping nonstop just to check it out. So
yeah, I bet people are loving it. So were you looking for a truck? Did it just find you? How did that marriage happen?
That's a funny story, because I spent too much time on Instagram, and I was on Reels, and I was just scrolling. I follow a lot of C10 truck clubs because I want to get back in the scene. Back when I was 20 years younger, I used to build these often. I built 5 or 6 Suburbans and Blazers and trucks. Well, I want an old man truck, and of course I want a square body. Come across this on Reels. It was a video of him driving it, and somebody tagged the owner. So then when I found out who the owner was, I DM'd him, and I bugged him and talked him into letting it go.
What does the family think now that you're getting back into it?
Well, my wife is sitting here, and my kid, and my wife doesn't really like the custom scene, the custom trucks and stuff like that. But I mean, she's a soldier. She came out here. We drove all the way 8 hours from Phoenix to San Luis Obispo here to the first show, and she's sitting here with me, so that says a lot that she would do that, because she wouldn't even go to the pool with me out in the back of our house. So for her to drive 8 hours out here, I think she enjoys it. Absolutely.
Well, and hopefully the one thing I always say is, the trucks are cool, but the people are cooler, and the metal brings us together, and she gets to meet other people and see, that the kids are having fun and eat some good food and hang out, and it's that experience, right? Because you have so many things that you can do, and you have so many things you can't do, and you can do this, and you come out and people are looking at this truck, and she's probably got to be like, people really like your truck, babe.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, for sure. She's recognized as much as I am too, so absolutely.
Good. Well, we're glad you're getting back into it, Bobby. You're starting it off with a bang, so I like your style.
Right.
Good luck on the awards, and I think we'll probably see you at the Get Down in November. That's right in the backyard there.
Well,
and then the reunion as well.
Yeah, actually, Dino was just here. So I walked up to my truck. Dino was checking it out. And I bugged Dino because he's got these chips for the Dino's Get Down. Yeah. He gave 50 out to a couple of the builders back in Phoenix. He's got 50 of his own. I bugged him. I said, hey, I sent him a picture of it on the DM. I said, hey, Dino, I was like, is this worth one of your chips? He's like, I got it. I'll send it in the mail. So right now when I seen him, I was like, hey, you got my chip, Dino? He goes, give me your address. I didn't bring him with me, but I'll make sure you get one. So definitely is going to be a Dino's Get Down, one of the top 100 spots per Dino.
Nice. It deserves it. Can't wait to see it. We'll be there in November, obviously. And then, again, bring it a whole whopping 5 miles north of you. March 11th, the reunion 2023.
I'll see you guys there.
And then, Bobby, go with your IG again.
Oh, yeah. My Instagram is at 777, 3 sevens, the word triple, racing.com. 777.
Spelled out, 777 racing.com.
Oh, no,
not .com.
No, .com. What the hell am I saying?
Everybody's going to go to your thing. They're like, hey, that's a cool Instagram. .com. 777 Racing, IG. We could check it out. Yeah. I'll post it. I'll tag you. Thanks, Bobby.
Awesome, man.
Super pumped about this one. And if you've seen him on social media, it's a no-brainer. This is a beautiful 73-74 shorty. Looks like a 6-inch lift, but, there's so much more than meets the eye. I've got Steve Wanagaitis. and he's out of Bakersfield, California, and you've got this Square D-Max truck. I think, what's your Instagram?
Square Duramax.
Okay, Square Duramax. I've posted it up a few times. I mean, it's absolutely stunning. Steve, thanks for taking time. You have one of the raddest trucks here. Walk us through this journey. How the hell did you get a Shorty 73? Is it 3 or 4? So 4. 74. You've got the right color, the right stance, and then when you look underneath there, you've got a Duramax in there.
It was just the motor that was in it was tired. It was time to rebuild it and wanted to do something different. So I came across the Duramax. I have a Duramax as a daily driver, and I've been really impressed by it. We built this one and put it in here, and it's been a definite chore to make it all fit, but it's been worth it. It's a lot of fun. It runs great.
Had to be. We see these guys put 12-valve Cummins, and a lot of times guys are putting them in two-wheel drives. I got to think that, I guess you don't have a cross member to worry about, but you ended up changing everything and putting coilover anyway, handle that weight. A lot of different fabrication, a lot of skill, a lot of tape measuring and cussing, and figure, I'm sure, some welding and some grinding.
Absolutely. Once we got to that point and decided I was going to do the Duramax, we boxed and welded the frame all the way in to take up for it. Went to the 3/4 ton suspension, did the Dana 60s front and rear, and just welded our own perches on there and made it all work. Definitely a lot of fabrication, a lot of late nights. I think I made up some brand new cuss words before it was over, but it's all been worth it now. Just interviews like this and everybody stopping to appreciate how much work has gone into it, and the great compliments that I've heard from you and other people today. It makes it all worth it.
It's a stunner. I kind of gave him a hard time because he's of that generation where they made these cool trucks really what they were, right? You think about the mid 80s where they were taking these trucks and they were jacking them up, and they were running the school, right? They were running the high school, the college before they went out to the labor force, and they made these trucks so cool. And it was all the guys, the older brothers that I looked up to, and the dads, and then now you see this truck out here and it's full circle. So he's got, the cool thing too is I can just see all the fabrication, obviously huge coilover shocks, and it looks like it's a Carly system, and you said that was something that you used off of like a F-250. It's a newer style 4-link system. Well, yeah, it's a 3-link, I guess.
Right. Yeah, that's correct. The Carly system isn't set up for the Chevrolet setup at all. So when we did the Danas, we stripped everything off them, set that lift kit and suspension, everything on there, tacked our perches and welded them in place and made it all jive, and the truck rides beautifully. It rides like a brand new truck or better.
Yeah, that's you think about driving around in old leaf springs. When you're looking at all this stuff and you're looking at the Danas, what were you figuring out on like the 410, 373s? Were you thinking about a specific gear ratio? Did you know you were going to go 35s? And you're like, hey, we need to go like up to 456?
Right. I kind of eliminated a lot of it by going with the Allison. I've got the overdrive and the Allison transmission in there. So I knew I could get away with the 373, 35 combination and have the overdrive but still have the bottom end because of all the torque from the diesel to be able to jump up and do whatever I needed to do.
When you have the 6-speed, how did you work through that? Whereas on the Duramax, it's on the little shifter, right, on our gear selector. How do you guys manage that here?
So basically it doesn't have the downshift tow mode that you would have on the electronics, but you can pull it down from drive to third to second to first, and that's all you can really get out of it.
Yeah, but you still have it. And honestly, do you really need it all the time? You don't. And I imagine with this thing being so light of a truck for such a big motor, what was probably the hardest part?
The hardest part was probably figuring out the four-wheel drive aspect of it. When we went to the Dana 60s, of course, it pushes your case over to the other side. The MP205 lines up on the left side. Axle lines up on the other side. So making the four-wheel drive fit, and then where the transmission finishes out in this truck, the back of my transfer case is almost at the back of the cab. So there was nowhere to put the shifter. So at that time, we came up with using the push-button four-wheel drive out of the earlier style 2000-ish push-button vacuum four-wheel drive.
It's funny to hear you say all that and think, that's that far back, and how we're used to the NP205 and 203 and everything up front, and how many little trial and error things. You could build one of these so much faster now because you've been through so much. Not to say that you would, but I can only imagine when you go through that and you go through the struggles, and now you know all the secrets.
Right. It's just was a lot of trial and error, a lot of fitting it up there and trying to figure out how to make it fit, and if it won't, try to find the next option and make it fit one way or the other. I wasn't going to give up on it, and it worked out.
It worked out really good. How about red? What were you thinking?
I'm just kind of partial to red. I've got a couple red cars, and that's my color.
It works out, just like you said. You went with a tweed. You don't see tweed a lot. Is it coming back?
I was definitely just sticking with the old school. I want the truck, the stance and the look of as it would have looked, period, correct. The wheels and the tires, the smaller wheel, the larger tire, the tweed, just kind of, if you didn't hear the motor or see what's under there, you would think, hey, that's pretty close to what it would look like in that period.
Your craftsmanship is amazing. I mean, obviously you're at a show, so it's just all been cleaned up, but I can tell. I mean, it is such a clean truck on top, underneath, all around. You keep it clean. I've seen you post a few different things online. What a skill set. I mean, you have an attention to detail.
It's definitely just a love for it. Fortunately, my wife loves this as much as I do, so she supports me 100%. But the truck, we built it to drive. We drove it over here from Bakersfield, and we drive it to every show we go to. The truck's never been on a trailer since it's had the motor in it. It's a driver, and we spend the time detailing it out on both ends of the show and make sure that she's shined up and looking good. But I built it to drive. I enjoy driving it.
Yeah, I would love driving this thing. It'd be funny because even like you said, you've got a daily that's a Duramax. You'd almost just be like, no, I'm taking old red out today, you know?
Definitely so. It's a daily drive. I mean, it could be a daily driver. The air conditioner works great. It handles great. It drives everywhere. I don't like leaving it in the parking lot too much, but you know, you can take it wherever you want to go. I would trust it just as much as I would my new Duramax.
What do you find? Do you find that it's mostly guys our age that come up if you did take it out and you took mom out to pizza, maybe you go to Best Buy or something? Who's coming up and looking at this thing in the parking lot? Because I got to think people aren't leaving you alone.
It's definitely really surprising because I see the young guys appreciate it even as much as the older guys appreciate it. The older guys are like, oh, I remember this, and they know more about it. The younger guys are more like, oh man, that looks really good. And they're like, wow, there's a diesel in there, because everybody does the LS swap or, you know, staying with a small block Chevrolet in them. But the diesel deal, everybody's like, my gosh, that's just crazy. What were you thinking?
Yeah, it's awesome. And a lot of people might have the idea, but they're not going to have the balls to actually do it. And you did it. What's next? Is it all done, or you have any little things you got to wrap up?
I don't know that you ever finish. I don't know. I mean, I've got little bumps and bruises that are on it from the motor and travel and all the suspension fabrication and getting that done. So I've got some little bumps and bruises that I want to repair here and there that not everybody sees, but I know are there because I'm over it with a fine-tooth comb all the time. But there's always more that I want to do.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I'm assuming because I think you said it's like 1,000 horsepower, you're running a tune, you're running a complete motor and tranny tune?
Correct. The computer itself was completely tuned. It's no program or anything like that in it. The guys from Performance Diesel in Bakersfield there did all the computer tuning and the aspect of all that, and it's bulletproof. It runs so violently hard that we just keep detuning it so it's even streetable. Like it's violent.
I hope you could take it on a little longer road trip. You know, I'm going to invite you out to Arizona. We've got the Get Down, and then we have a new one in the spring called the Reunion. I'd love to see this thing out there. Last question. If somebody, have you been approached to ever sell it, and what would you do?
I've been asked a couple times, you know, hey, what'll it take? And I tell them at this point it's not for sale. Yeah. Like I'm enjoying it too much, and I know what I've got in it, and I wouldn't take that for it. Yeah. You know, it's just not for sale right now.
Yeah,
so
good for you. I mean, because you're in love with it, right? Where sometimes, and you being a car guy and your wife as well, you get done with the project, you can't get rid of it fast enough, right? Whereas this one, the gift keeps on giving, and you're still running hard with this thing. And why wouldn't you? I mean, this is miles per gallon, just nonstop, shiny red. This is everything every kid would want when he was a young man or an older man.
Absolutely. Some of us just don't want to grow up. Their trucks just get a little bit more expensive. It's a good time. It's miles per gallon for sure.
Perfect. Steve from Bakersfield. I won't try that last name again. I got it once. I won't try it again. We appreciate your time. We'll tag you. And for you guys, again, on the Instagram.
Square Duramax.
Square Duramax. You could check it out. I think Mama must shoot some side profiles because I've seen him ripping by, and somebody's on the other side of that camera. So Square Duramax. You guys can check it out. I'll tag it. Thanks, Steve, for your time.
Thank you very much.
When you're looking for classic Chevy or GMC truck parts, BrothersTrucks.com is your #1 source for 1947 to 87 Chevy and GMC truck restoration parts. So whether you are restoring an original or looking to customize that classic truck, BrothersTrucks.com has thousands of the highest quality truck parts for you to choose from. So head over to BrothersTrucks.com and order your free catalog today. And don't forget to follow Brothers on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates and special offers too.
Marquet has been in business for over 40 years. It all started in the original owner's garage. From humble beginnings of a couple parts in a garage to a 2-building manufacturing facility making over 6,000 parts, Marquet has grown to be one of the country's premier truck parts manufacturers. They not only design the products, but also design the tooling to build the products, guaranteeing quality control. They have made their original parts from the original trucks. Aluminum strips are double polished, creating a mirror finish, and crystal clear anodized. They offer quality parts built by Americans for old American-made trucks. So when you're looking for body moldings, bed strips, bed wood, and so much more, think Marquet. That's mar-k.com. You've heard me talk about my gauges. Dakota Digital. I love them. Don't forget the interior of your build. Dakota Digital has the best gauges for our trucks. Whether you want a direct fit into the stock bezel or something custom. These kits are complete with sensors for any engine. The new RTX series is really incredible. I think it stands for retro, but it should stand for rad. They look just like the stock clusters, but have all the technology you'd expect from Dakota Digital. You can change the lighting colors, customize the reading in the message centers, and do it all from the mobile app. That's right, the HDX and RTX series have Bluetooth technology, so you can mess with them from your phone. I'm looking at RPM, trip odometer, percent fuel, oil pressure, and now I have the GPS set up. I can tell you direction, elevation, and even outside temp. Damn, son, it's like a modern truck, but even better in a classic. Dakota Digital is absolutely the best in aftermarket gauges, so check them out at dakotadigital.com. dakotadigital.com. And you can follow them on Instagram and Facebook too. Probably one of my favorite things of this show today is I got to meet young Cole in the VIP area hanging out. But I got Dad here, Farm Built _C10. Steve Sharon, you're out of kind of Salem, Oregon, for the audience to kind of understand, you know, in perspective. So that's a little bit of a jaunt to come down to this show.
Yeah, it totally was. We split it in half. We stayed in Redding last night, but we had truck and trailer problems on the way, and it really extended the trip out. We had brand new tires put on the tow truck on last week. Threw a bunch of weight, started a bad vibration about 250 miles into the trip. Another 100 miles later, we had a couple tires go bad on the trailer. So we were at Les Schwab yesterday morning again for another couple hours, getting new tires on the trailer. So glad to be here. The weather's perfect. It's not too hot. Nice breeze. It's beautiful out here.
I'm glad you broke it up into 2 days, right? You're smart, because you try to do it in one day and something happened and it never fails. Yep. And you guys had a little time built in there. Yep. So you were able to make it down. You're not so stressed. You show up with one of the coolest kids I've ever met. Well, we'll talk about that in a second. But you show up with your truck, 62. Yep. Thing is just, laid out. And the one thing that really got me was, I'm like, who built this chassis? And you're like, well, I kind of did. I'm a farmer, and that's what we do. Yeah. We farm, and we build, and we fab because we have to. So what's the journey on this truck?
So I bought the truck, completely original, stock, short box. Had torsion bar front suspension, 1962, 60 through 62, had torsion bars. Somebody, to lower it, cut the torsion bars out. So it was on bump stops when we got it. I was actually on an anniversary trip when I found it on Craigslist. We stopped on the way home to look at it, and I told my wife, I said, and it was also a week from her birthday. And so went, stopped, looked at the truck, and I said, all right, here's a deposit. Came back the next day, took it home. He helped me unload it out of the trailer. Out of the trailer, went right to the shop, and we tore it apart the next day. And 3.5 years later, here we are, Porter-built front, custom, everything else.
Where we're at, and you were on honeymoon, you're on an anniversary celebration. Where are you at? Where do you find it at?
I found it in Eugene, Oregon. We were in Bend, Oregon on our anniversary trip, and I told the wife, I said, hey, we got to make a pit stop on the way home. She's like, yep, no problem. And she's been a huge supporter of me in this truck, and I dumped a bunch of money into this thing, way more money than I've ever spent on anything, and she's been right there supporting me by my side, and honestly telling me, buy the good parts. Don't go cheap. it's going to bite you in the ass. And I said, nah. And I would buy the shitty parts and then end up buying the better parts. And then she's like, I told you. And so after about a year of doing that, I just started saving money and buying the good stuff. And she's like, do it, get the good stuff. This thing's gonna be cool when it's done. And I was blown away with her support and his too. He's been out in the shop with me working on it. It's been a great project for the both of us, and he next is building something for him, and he can't wait. Although he's already claiming this one as his own. He thinks it's his.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you were 5 when you helped Dad unload it off the trailer, you got to think this has been a big part of his life. It's cool to hear you say that, because as we get older, we realize that you only have so much time in the day, and you can work a little extra, make some money, and it all comes down to time and money and that balance. But you are figuring it out where it's like, I better buy the proven stuff, the stuff that's out there, the better quality, because when you buy the cheap stuff, you just get what you pay for.
Exactly. You end up paying for something twice. So the next build, I already got a game plan. I know what I'm getting. I'm not skimping on anything. Buy the good stuff the first time, and you'll save yourself money in the long run.
Yeah,
Simple
you
as
will,
that.
for sure. Okay, so this thing, it was originally a white farm truck, I assume?
Yep.
And then you just put your spin on it. So it is a knee knocker, a wraparound window. You did the big back conversion. It looks so good.
Thank you. Yeah, got the big back window conversion from Classic Parts, and it was a, there's enough YouTube videos out there now where even a guy like me could figure it out, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Hardest part was getting the glass to fit and just trimming, getting that final fit to get the stock glass to fit.
Even a guy like me is what he said. This guy pretty much hand-built this whole truck, so he can figure out just about anything. I'm looking at the chassis in the back, and you did have some bought components, but you did figure out, and you did a lot of engineering. How has the shakedown been? Have you been able to put a lot of miles on the truck?
I got 1,000 miles on it right now. We just got it done in May. Only major problems we've had with it are, first long drive we did, lost a tail shaft housing bushing, and ended up getting it back to the shop, threw new tail housing on it, readjusted the driveline angles, and it's that, and I had an AccuAir computer go out on me. But now I got the new updated E-Level Plus with a warranty, so now I'm set on that. Those are the only two problems I've had with this truck so far, and I think it's a testament to do it right, take your time, do it right the first time, cycle things, route things cleanly. It's just like anything else. It's you gotta have a clean kitchen before you cook, kind of a deal.
Well, and for you in the farming community, sometimes you don't have that choice, right? You've got something that's down, and you got to get it fixed, because you got to get it's working, it's making you money. Yep. But if it's not making you money, and it's your hobby and it's your passion, or you're out wrenching your wife, your son, your family, and you're building a fun truck, if you can take that time. It's so hard because you want to get it done to get to the next show, you want to enjoy it, but you don't want to be broke down all the time, and you want to have confidence in it. And it sounds like you are at that point now with this truck.
So far, yep. We've been putting a lot more miles on it in the past couple of months now that, we're up in Oregon. Everybody knows that it rains a bunch up there. And so we've taken the truck out, thought it was a nice sunny day, and halfway through the day, it starts downpouring. And I said I was never going to drive this in the rain. Well, it's held up in the rain, because it's rained a lot on this damn truck, probably more than it's gotten sunshine on it. So I'm pretty confident in it now. I wasn't confident enough to make the 800-mile trip, so we towed it. And after getting to California and going over some of these roads, I'm glad I didn't, because getting one of these rear tires off, it's impossible without having it on a hoist. It's just too tucked up in there.
Steve, nobody's going to fault you for trailering this thing. It's beauty, and at the same time, you want to make it to the destination. So we're kind of in the back. So seat-wise, what seats did you use?
It's a TMI, just their basic 60-inch bench.
Okay. How about carpet? Because it looks, one thing I love on the 60 to 66 is when you can do more of a piece together carpet, so it looks really good. You've got the seams, and it lays in there, and it looks really hot rodish.
Yeah, it's got it from Relikit. It's a German square weave charcoal colored carpet, and I took the truck to Mike's Hot Rod Upholstery and Interior in Dallas, Oregon, and he did the carpet, and he did a phenomenal job. I didn't think it was going to turn out as good as it did, and he blew me away. He also did the door panels, upper door panel and lower door panel. You don't see that a lot on the 60 through 63s. Door panels in general, it's a steel door, so I've seen one or two aftermarket styles and I just didn't like them, and went to him, gave him an idea, and he ran with it, and it turned out freaking amazing.
Yeah, and you know what you did too, to give yourself some idea and credit here, is just how you painted the inner door. So you know how you have the lip, which is going to rotate to the outer color. You painted the inside of the door, and that really goes well with the upper and lower, all the work that he did. And then again, the stitch matches the TMI, so it all blends together. It looks very good.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that was one thing I told him when he was building the door panels. I said I want it to match a seat pretty much, you know, get the same stitching. I took a tape measure because he built the door panels before he even got the truck, and they still fit amazing. I was kind of blown away by that, but I took a tape measure, measured the seams, and said here's the spacing on the stitching, and you know, just took the time to make sure all the details were right. And you know, when you send a truck off, your baby off to go get something like that done, and you let the guy run with it, you don't know what you're going to get. And I was extremely happy with Mike.
Which unfortunately doesn't always happen. You get back and you're a little frustrated. Maybe you thought you paid for this, and then you look at it. So that's really a good thing to hear, that you were pleasantly surprised and you were very happy to, you know, see the product that you paid for and then he created. What AC? You've got a AC under dash there?
Yeah, it's a Resto Mod Air. I think it's their Bantam. It's the C10 retrofit. Well, not retrofit. It's a custom kit for a C10, and then just
this style, right?
For this style, but I made a bunch of my own brackets to tuck it up a little higher, and you know, got the, you know, the better vents and whatnot. I built a lower AC panel under the dash to clean it up a little, somewhere to put the vents. And Resto Mod stuff is pretty badass.
Yeah, it looks really good. Were you a wraparound guy? Did you care when you look at a 60 to 66? There's so many styles. The 60 to 61 Apaches, the 62, 63 wraparounds, and then the 4, 5, 6. Were you really partial to a wraparound, or it just happened to be what you found?
When I was looking for a 64 through 66. I really was. And where we were at, I couldn't find one. And this came up, and I went and looked at it, and the patina on it sold me, and that was it. And then I became an E-Knocker fan. And, you know, even showing my buddies, you know, they don't know the difference between an E-Knocker and a 64 through 66, and they're like, oh no, the E-Knocker looks way cooler. And I've grown pretty fond of it, but I still want a 64 through 66.
Well, that's why you got Cole's truck. Let's come forward here. Looks like you got some hard fab, and then the motor sits in there. Is that a 6.0?
It's a 6.0, but those are Delmo tubs.
Oh, okay, Delmo tubs. Delmo's gonna kill me on that. They look really good.
Yeah, picked those up from him. Yeah, 6 liters out of a 2006 Silverado LQ4 junkyard motor. And the way I looked at it, had 100,000 miles on it. I'm going to put 2,000 a year on it. And I used to wrench on these. I used to work at a Chevrolet dealership. And you know what? They'll go forever. So if I put 2,000 a year on it, this is going to last me a long time. 6 liter. Found some 243 heads on Craigslist. Sent them off to Texas Speed. They CNC ported them. Texas Speed Stage 4 cam, LS7 lifters, LS6 intake, built a custom cold air intake that runs underneath the demo fender tube, and smooth the firewall out, and try to keep it as clean as possible.
Well, at the end of the day, I hope you put more than 2,000 miles on it, because that just means that you're running it, you're riding in it, you're enjoying it, you and the family. So really love that part of it. I think, you know, ultimately you found this truck. It spoke to you for some reason, and it sounds like you just won an award. Are they got to go up there right now? All right, they're going up to get their award. I'm gonna let you go, Steve, and then I'll hit up with Cole in a second. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Ronnie.
Boy, I tell you what, I wish I was as cool as this kid, not only when I was a kid, but even now. That's how cool Cole is. So you guys just ran off. You got an award. You're 8, right, Cole?
Yes.
All right, so Cole just got an Instagram. We met him at the VIP area. He walks up. He says, hey, I listen to C10 Talk. So I said, all right, buddy, let's go check out the truck. So you and Dad been working on this truck. What's your favorite part of the truck, Cole?
Probably the airbags.
Bags are pretty tight. How about people come take pictures of it? What do you think about that?
It's pretty cool. Me and my dad get really excited when we see people do that.
Did you help Dad with it a lot?
Oh yeah, a lot. It was fun.
What was your favorite part?
I think it was probably building a transmission.
Yeah, that's a lot of work. Now, so what is an 8-year-old? What kind of trucks do you like? You've been all around this show today. You're from Oregon. What's a truck that you like? A different style of truck?
There's lots to choose from, but...
Is this your favorite?
It's my second, but we saw this is really cool green. I think it was a square box, and it was awesome. It was just so clean. It looked so empty, and it looked like I told my dad, and we were confused not confused, but like we were talking about how our engine is so big and it just takes up the whole engine bay. But like it's so like just tiny, and it's just tiny, and it just doesn't take up a lot of space, and he's got airbags. It's really cool.
All right, I'll have to check it out and ask Dad about that. Did you guys name this truck?
We named it Pearl Haggard.
Oh boy, so maybe Dad listens to Merle Haggard, and he said, well, maybe we'll listen to Pearl Haggard. Dad's coming back over here. Hey, so Cole said I asked him another truck he likes. He said maybe a green square body with a small block in it.
It's Born Vintage.
Oh, the Born Vintage, yeah.
The 70, I think it is, or 68. That's beautiful.
Yeah, they got some really nice stuff. You got good taste. Now, what's next? Do you have a truck that you're going to be building?
I'm going to build me and my dad are probably going to redesign his Blazer.
Maybe a Blazer? Does Dad have, what year's your Blazer, Dad?
82 square body Blazer, 4-wheel drive, obviously, K5, lifted on 1 tons, and needs a transmission gone through. I cracked the case jumping it, and it's been sitting ever since we started the C10 project. So now it's time to get that going, and probably by the time we're done with it, he'll have his license.
You know, honestly, you're 8. I don't know what it is in Oregon, if it's 15 or 16, but 7, 8 years from now, you'll be ready to jump that thing. Cole, you are probably one of the coolest kids. I think he's trying to get Instagram. He's trying to get it downloaded. I think you're saying Cole Rider _22. All right, Cole, thanks for being so cool. Thanks for taking time to be on the podcast.
Thank you.
All right, wrapping it up. This will probably be my last one for C10 Talk. I've got a 1990 Cheyenne. So when you think about a 1990 Cheyenne, you're probably thinking this needs to be on OBS Talk, but no, this is a Mexican version, a Mexico truck. I've got El Tomato. Dave, tell me about your truck, brother.
Well, we originally bought it from Guadalajara. We, bring it out there with the trailer and all that. At first, we were gonna sell it, make some money, and we just stayed out. We changed our mind and kept it in our collection.
So how do you find a truck down there? You live up here, you live in Cali. How do you find a truck? You live in Stockton. How do you find a truck down in Guadalajara?
We usually, back in the day, we used to go out there and usually, you have family out there or something, or someone to find something, something clean. It's really hard right now because these trucks are made for work, not for looks. We were unfortunately, we got it. We brought it to the United States.
What's some things that that are a little different? Like one thing is a 2500 on the side. The seats are different. It does have a 1990 General Motors sticker on it. I'll take a picture of it. But there's obviously the grill. They put the bow tie in the middle. So there's a few things that are different. Walk us through some of that stuff.
Yeah, people get confused with the front end. People say that they swap them with with the Suburbans and all that. And no, that's how they came in Mexico. There were 3 years of it, and that's how they came. Their logo used to be a 2500. The motor is a 350, and the seats they're almost like bucket seats, but those are OEM from factory from Mexico.
Yeah, they do. They look like they're aftermarket van conversion style seat. The dash looks pretty good. I just don't remember seeing this color of a dash. It's kind of the peanut butter color. And then the wood, it's that you don't see that. Maybe you see that in the Suburbans. I think I've seen that in a 91 Suburban. It's like a tiger wood grain. It's a little different.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. Also, like the dash and all that, it has like like in Mexico, in Spanish will make sense, like empty and full. It has it on Spanish. It's on kilometers. Other than that, then
Well, and it's a Cheyenne, right? So they stopped the Cheyennes in the States, and now this would be a Silverado, right? So that's another thing that even to this day, they still make the Cheyenne truck down in Mexico, and you can get the Cheyenne truck down there. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, you're right about that.
And it's probably been repainted?
Yeah, repainted. Original color, but repainted. It was repainted in Mexico. And how
many miles are on this truck?
Miles, I wouldn't know, to be honest, because in Mexico they don't carry like a Carfax, and they don't carry they don't have a history on it.
What's it read? It's in kilometers though, right?
Kilometers. It should say like 80 something.
Well, if it's 80, then I think that's about half. So it's probably 45,000 miles.
Yeah, around there. It may be roll once, we never know, but around 40, maybe 90, we're not sure.
Okay, how about the bed rail? Was that on there?
No, those how the Mexicans Cheyenne comes from Mexico. That's one of the things that come. OBSs also come with that. That's like, I guess it was optional. But on this truck, that's how they came. That's not aftermarket.
What's your favorite part about this truck? Your 1990 from Guadalajara.
My favorite thing is it's still a square body and something new. Some people say it's not a square body, but it's still square.
Yeah, it is funny. If you wanted to have a fun bet with somebody, you can be like, I have a 1990 square body, and they'd say, oh, well, it's a crew cab, it's a Suburban, it's a work truck, and you say, no, I have a short bed C10. And they'd say, no way. I think what happened for the audience is, and they call them R10s and V10s. Right. So in 87, they went to fuel injection and they changed it. Well, they were getting ready to roll out the OBS, the CK truck. I bet what happened is they probably still had these, and I don't know if maybe they were manufactured in Mexico at that point, but they had the trucks. And so they probably just took the bodies and said, hey, we'll sell these for 3 years in Mexico. And that's the same 3 years that the crew cabs and the Suburbans and the Blazers were slope nose square bodies. And then obviously it changed up. So super cool. I appreciate you taking time. He talked to us about his 91 OBS, and he's talking to us about his 1990. It's funny, right, that they're almost the same year. You know what I mean? In the body style, so that's something a little different. He goes by L_tomato. He's got really red, rosy cheeks. So, Dave, we appreciate your time. Love your ride. The last thing we didn't talk about, let's hit it real quick, is your wheels, your wheel of choice on this truck. What was your thoughts?
It's just something different, from out there. A lot of people put 20s, 22s, 18s, and all that. We just went with 17 by 11s intros, and we might upgrade to 18s by 11s, but we're not sure yet. We're in between a swap and that change.
What style? Because it's definitely got an 80s, 90s vibe.
Yeah, on that, I wouldn't know, to be honest, on the style. We just have a shop that, we have a friend that owns the shop, and he helped us a lot with that.
Nice. Now, what do you do? What's your day job?
I'm a toy driver. That's what I do, and I'm a reseller of vehicles, so I buy and sell vehicles and just flip them.
Keep doing it, dude. You got a good eye, good taste, and I like your truck. So thanks for coming out to the Slowdown. Thanks for spending time to be on C10 Talk. L_tomato. Dave, thanks, brother.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
That's a wrap, guys. Thanks for listening. Add the Slowdown to your list. I look forward to going back. Ran into a lot of people that I hadn't seen in a while, so that's always fun to connect. And again, some of that road trip was a blast. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great week, guys. Peace.